Throughout history, many of the most important decisions that shaped the world have not been made in public. They were not announced on television or debated openly in crowded halls. Instead, some were made quietly, behind closed doors. A small group of people understood that the future of entire nations could depend on a single agreement. One of these moments occurred during a meeting so significant that its consequences would influence the global economy for decades. It was a meeting that most people at the time never knew had taken place, yet its system continues to move money today. In the early 20th century, global financial systems were unstable. Wars had destroyed economies, and currencies were fluctuating wildly. Governments struggled to maintain financial stability while dealing with enormous debt and unpredictable markets. The system lacked coordination. Leaders and economists understood that something had to change. If countries operated separately, global trade and growth would remain fragile. A stable framework was needed, one that could organize international currencies and restore confidence in global markets. In response, representatives from powerful nations quietly gathered. The meeting was not designed for public spectacle. It was a gathering of experts who understood the complexity of the global economic system. Their task was incredibly ambitious. They needed to design a framework that could stabilize international finance and prevent the kind of chaos that had shaken the world. Inside the meeting rooms, discussions were intense. Participants debated currency values and mechanisms to support nations facing financial crises. One of the biggest challenges was deciding how to balance national economic independence with global financial cooperation. Eventually, a set of agreements began to emerge. These agreements laid the foundation for a new international financial system. The goal was to create a structure where nations could trade more easily while reducing the risk of financial instability spreading across borders. Perhaps the most important outcome was the creation of institutions designed to manage and support the global economy. These organizations would monitor financial stability, provide assistance to countries, and encourage cooperation between nations. By establishing these institutions, the architects hoped to prevent future economic disasters and create a more resilient global system. The system did not solve every problem, but it changed how the economy operated. For the first time, countries had a coordinated framework. Exchange rates became more stable, global trade expanded, and economic cooperation increased between nations that once struggled to coordinate. The influence of this meeting extended far beyond that moment. The institutions and agreements continued to shape global markets for generations. What makes this story fascinating is how little attention it received. While military conflicts dominated headlines, these policymakers designed the architecture. Their work did not produce dramatic images or immediate headlines, but its long-term impact proved to be enormous. Today, many structures that guide international finance still reflect the ideas developed during that historic meeting. Global trade systems and economic stabilization programs all trace part of their origin back to these discussions. The secret meeting reminds us that the most powerful forces shaping history are not always visible. Economic decisions made quietly in conference rooms can influence billions of lives for decades. The stability of the global economy depends on the agreements made by a small number of individuals who designed and protected this system. And sometimes, the meetings that shape the world happen far away from the public eye, yet their consequences change everything.